Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. In this short video, I'm going to discuss a major technical breakthrough in the storage of solar energy. Most people learn in primary school about the process of plant growth. The growth of plants has four key components: solar energy, chlorophyll in the plant's leaves, carbon dioxide, and water. When all of these things are present, the plant can grow. Most people who live outside of cities are familiar with these places, which we call forests. This particular forest is an artist's rendition of forests from about 340 million years ago. These forests were very verdant and lush, and they grew very quickly. And one of the main reasons why the trees grew so quickly was because there was a lot of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere at that time. If we remember from our diagram, carbon dioxide is a key component of plant growth. Commercial greenhouse operators typically increase the amount of carbon dioxide inside the greenhouse because it makes the plants grow faster and makes them more drought resistant. Now let's take a look at the forest again and consider a couple of things which could happen to it. One possibility is that the forest could burn. Forest fires release huge amounts of energy, and that energy came from the sun. Years of plant growth stored huge amounts of solar energy inside the plant's body. After a forest burns like this, it's going to be a long time before the forest can burn again, because it takes a long time to store up that much solar energy. So forests contain huge amounts of organic stored solar energy. Let's consider now another possibility of what could happen to these trees. In the case of these forests from 340 million years ago, many of the trees, when they died, turned into coal. We have massive coal beds on Earth which are made up of hundreds of millions of years of stored organic solar energy. Coal is what allowed many humans to escape from short, dark, cold, miserable lives. We burn coal in power plants like this one in northern Colorado. I took this picture on Valentine's Day. The temperature was about 10 below zero Fahrenheit and there was no wind. You can see that the steam coming up out of the stack is going straight up. This huge array of solar panels was built recently and destroyed lots of wildlife habitat, and all of the solar panels were covered with snow. The wind wasn't blowing, so there was no wind power. The solar panels were covered with snow, so there was no solar energy. The only things keeping hundreds of thousands of people in northern Colorado from freezing to death that day was this coal-fired power plant and natural gas which was being pumped in from pipelines. The Rawhide generating station is very important to the people of northern Colorado, whether they're aware of it or not. But the governor of Colorado is afraid of fossil fuels like coal and natural gas because when you burn them, they emit carbon dioxide. These people have told him that if we burn coal, all life on Earth will cease to exist. So let's take a look and see if that idea makes any sense. 340 million years ago, there was a lot more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and the Earth looked like this. There were a lot of trees, and they grew very quickly. This doesn't look much like an extinction event. As these trees got buried in the ground and turned into coal, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere decreased. And now that we're burning this organic stored solar energy known as coal, the amount of carbon dioxide is going back up again. We're returning carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, which was removed 300 million years ago. If we burned all of the coal, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere would go back to the level it was about 340 million years ago. And we don't have to guess what Earth would be like at that level of carbon dioxide because we have huge amounts of historical evidence. Earth was very green and lush at higher levels of carbon dioxide. The ideas behind the Extinction Rebellion are based on ignorance, superstition, and junk science. They have nothing to do with reality. But they have the governor's ear, and he's planning on shutting down this power plant soon, which could potentially have catastrophic consequences for hundreds of thousands of people. In his novel 1984, George Orwell said, "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength." Toto thinks that the human race has arrived at 1984. You can visit him, Kyrie, and Caesar on the web at realclimatescience.com.